why this defense has been so dominant. They turn you over. It's not like they're just getting stop after stop. They get stops, but they also take the ball away all the time now.
Yeah, and that's why I feel strongly about the fact that I hear what everybody's saying about Jalen playing better. Jalen does what he's supposed to do, man, and he capitalizes on the turnovers that they do create. Then he's gonna have a chance. He's gonna have a chance to do his thing. He's gonna have a chance to do what he does, man.
Well, he is, and he's going to have a chance to be the player that we need him to be. And I think he needs to play super well on Sunday for the Eagles to win this football game. All right, getting set to join us now as we got some great guests coming up over the next hour. Next hour, we'll talk to Greg Olsen. But this hour, Hugh, we get a chance to talk to someone who people at WIP remember. Her name is Colleen Wolfe, now with the NFL Network. Colleen, how you doing?
Hi, I'm great. Oh, my God, it's so good to see you guys.
Good to see you too. How you doing?
Hugh, how long ago did we work together?
No, you know what? Every time I see you, Wolf, and I see you on television, the only thing I think about is you're fired. Remember that?
So this was like a game that we played with Angelo Cataldi. He did this bit every year, and he would bring in interns. And I guess like someone at the station used to decide who would win this intern game. It was like a game of Survivor too. And the winner would get a chance to stay on as the intern.
Yep.
But then whoever did the deciding was gone. So they were like, how about Colleen, as an intern herself, fires her peers and then decides whose future is going to change, basically.
That was the best.
That was fun. That was like 2004.
Yeah, it was. And I got to tell you, every time that I see you, it just does me proud to see you come from where you come from to doing what you're doing. And that's why every time I see your post, I always put on there, Wolf.
I know. I love it.
Wolf. Yeah, so it's great to see.
I feel like Philadelphia is just like, everyone is like my big sister and brother there. And everyone's like, oh my God, we're so proud of you. Look what you did.
Oh, no, because it's just great because you put your nose to the grindstone, and it's just great to see. And all the kids out there listening, that when you put the hard work in, you will get rewarded for that. And you really did that.
Thank you.
So, Colleen, what is it like for you these weeks when the Eagles are here? I mean, you get to do your normal stuff every year, Super Bowl, NFL Network, but it's got to be a different kind of fun when it's the Eagles.
Well, it's like a family reunion at the same time. So it usually is sort of a reunion at Radio Row in general because everyone's here, but there's so many more Philly people here. And everyone from home is also trying to come to the game. Everyone's trying to get tickets.
Yep.
So
everybody's trying to get next to you.
Everyone's trying to do it. So it's busy, but it's really fun and it feels a little surreal. And of course I have to like not be a total homer,
but still a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
But like
that's
kind of what I am is like I can't really hide it. So yeah, I just like hope and pray that I'm not going to get like fired.
So my biggest question to you is, how hard has it been in these last few years to balance the Colleen that we know and the one that everybody else knows and still try to stay grounded? How tough has that been for you?
I'm so exhausted. I'm so tired from doing it. It's I mean, it's fun. It's a good problem to have, but I kind of just have to still stay true to who I am and that's kind of sort of become my brand, which is a weird thing to say.
No, but it's the truth because you've been in this business long to know. That there comes a time where the decision is made about which line do you want to walk down. So yeah,
and I just kind of also feel like it's more authentic if you kind of tell the truth about who you are, because everyone who is in sports is here because they at one point in time were a fan of the game or a team, and so it would be weird if I wasn't a fan of anything or had no background on it. So I just kind of whatever, I lean into all of it.
You should.
Yes, you should.
You can see Colleen on NFL Network's The Insiders every night, 7 p.m. Eastern, during more than 60 hours of live Super Bowl coverage on NFL Network and NFL Plus. All right, Colleen, what do you think? Eagles, Chiefs, we did this 2 years ago. It didn't turn out the way we wanted, and here we are again. So how are you feeling about the Eagles' chances this time?
I feel good about the Eagles' chances now. Now with Saquon Barkley and with Vic Fangio, I feel like those are the two big pieces that the Eagles did not have in Super Bowl 57. And if you go through this entire team, I would almost argue that every single group is probably better than Super Bowl 57. Aside from, I would maybe take the defensive line was like really deep.
It was
2 years ago. And obviously the offense has changed a bit. So Jalen Hurts played a different game then that he's playing now, but I think it's really encouraging to have him coming off of the NFC Championship game with the performance he had and the passing game doing what it did, because we just became so accustomed to seeing them run the ball, and that was working. And so I had no complaints about it. But also it would be a lot easier probably in some of those wins if they were able to pass the ball and have a little bit more balance. But ultimately they ended up winning. So here they are in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm curious because me and Joe, we've been kind of going back and forth about this all day long. As far as what type of Jalen Hurts do we need to see in this game? Do we need Superman Jalen Hurts that has to outplay Patrick Mahomes? Or do we get closer to Jalen Hurts that played in the NFC Championship game and had that type of performance? What do you think?
I think I would love to see the NFC Championship type performance from Jalen Hurts, because if he's Superman, that means things have gone wrong and that he's pressing. And I don't like any quarterback pressing. I don't like any quarterback trying to be Superman, because when they pull it off, it's wonderful, but usually they don't pull it off. And that means things are tight in the game.
Yeah.
So I don't expect this to be a game like a blowout or anything like we saw against the Commanders.
Yeah.
I expect it to be a close game, but I hope that it's a balanced attack and that Jalen Hurts doesn't have to do everything. It's nice that he's had this 2-week layoff so he can heal up a little bit more. And I hope that kind of translates to his game when he has to take off and scramble.
Did you see the Saquon thing coming? Because we were doing it live and like doing it day to day. And I was like, wow, they signed him. They never pay running backs. But I didn't know he still had this in him. Usually backs get to this age and it's like, okay, is he still have that burst? And then the first few games happened. I'm like, oh my goodness, how did the Giants let him go? He's still the best running back in the league.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think too, just the way that the Giants use him, it seems like he's just been resting the whole time.
Yeah, he has
so
for
he has
years.
very fresh legs.
Yeah.
I was very surprised that he ended up coming to the Eagles. I think it makes sense though, since he's from here.
Sure.
He's familiar with this area. And it was such a luxury ad for Howie Roseman and the Eagles in general, because they were like, oh, well, I guess we don't have any other things we need right now. Let's bring in a running back who is so talented. And I keep thinking about that post where his daughter was like, oh, does that mean we're going to win now?
Yeah, it's time to win.
Like, we're going to Philadelphia. That made me laugh so hard when I saw it. And every single time that the Eagles have won, I've thought about her. From week 1, just in Brazil, the performance that Saquon Barkley had up through now, it's just been such a fun season. And to watch him as a former Giant wear an Eagles uniform doing it is just all the more fun.
Yeah, it's petty. I like that. That's the petty part that I like.
I love the pettiness.
Yeah, we're very petty
I'm
on this
here
show.
for it.
Yeah, Hugh brings the petty every day. Colleen Wolfe with us here on Super Bowl Sunday. Wake up and catch Colleen and the rest of the crew for a special 8.5-hour edition. 8.5 hours. Wow.
8.5.
NFL game day morning starting at 9 a.m. Eastern on NFL Network and NFL Plus. That's a long time. That's a long pregame show.
It is. And then I'm doing the in-stadium hosting for the actual game for the Super Bowl. So
that's cool.
It's awesome. It's super fun. It's a long day.
I'm sure.
I'm not really sure how I'm going to sustain this day, but I know the next day I'm just going to sit in silence and stare at a wall for like the next week after the game.
You need it
every day. Every day.
Yeah.
So where are you? Where were you and where are you on Andy? So it's like they're intertwined forever. The Eagles and Andy, and now facing him for the second time. And I was saying earlier this week how this game, like, it's almost like two people break up and you see who has the better part of the divorce. If the Eagles win, it's pretty darn even. They have beaten him. He beat them. The Eagles have won 2 Super Bowls. If Andy wins this, he clearly won the divorce here. He'd have all these rings. Eagles will just have the one. I mean, it would be obvious. Where are you on
Some
Andy?
Some analogies are. They get low.
Where are you on Andy right now? As obviously what him as an Eagle at one point and now what he's become.
Well, I think he's one of the greatest coaches of all time, and if he ends up winning this 3rd straight Super Bowl championship, I mean, he goes into like the all-time record books. He's already there, but this really cements everything for him and his legacy and this Chiefs dynasty. But it's hard not to just love him no matter what, because
he's our family member.
He is. And it's like, you know what? We'll stick with the divorce metaphor here. It's like when your aunt and uncle get divorced and like you like your uncle's family, but like you really loved that aunt and like you want everyone to still kind of like
course.
stay close and cool.
That's
And
a
you know what?
great
They
analogy.
start coming to the family holidays eventually. And then it's just like, you know what? We're all cool. Even though everyone has like kind of moved on to different places in their life. Like, I still love Andy, and he was so good here. And he has such a great personality too. So it's hard to not like him in general. He's just a likable
And he's
guy.
changed so much since his time here in Philadelphia.
Really? How so, do you think?
Well, I think because he's more personable.
Yeah.
He's doing the commercials and everything. And listen, before I go in, we're not waxing poetic about Andy. We're just talking about
Callers
him
are going to be mad at you here.
No, I'm just saying we're just talking about him as a family member.
Where are those loyalties?
And how, but I still want to kick their butt Sunday. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I ain't want to go too long because you know how it is in Philadelphia. People starting to think I'm rooting for Andy, and I don't want that.
Yeah, they get on him for that.
We'll just make it clear.
Make it crystal clear.
All right, we need a prediction for you, but from you before we let you go.
Okay.
Eagles, Chiefs. Who wins? What's the score?
All right. Well, come on, go Birds. The Eagles are going to win. I actually do legitimately think that they are going to win too. But I do think it's going to be a close game. I'd say something like, I don't know, 28-27.
1 point.
Damn.
Oh, is it going to? Yeah,
damn,
1-2
Wolf, that's
points. I know.
You ready
What,
for
do you
that?
think we'll have another overtime too? I don't know.
My heart,
Yeah.
my heart.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a
gonna
heart
be a
attack
lot.
situation.
All right, Colleen, we appreciate you hopping on and have fun this weekend, including the 8.5-hour pregame on Sunday. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Great to see you.
Colleen Wolf, NFL Network. All right, coming up, we got Greg Olsen next hour. Elliot will join us, 215-592-9494. Plus, someone on the Eagles is prepared to make a pretty big sacrifice to win this game Sunday. We'll get to that coming up. It's the Midday Show live from Radio Row, Sports Radio 94 WIP. The FanDuel Kick of Destiny is back, and this time it's every Manning for himself. This Super Bowl, two legends will take the field in a sudden death field goal showdown. Peyton versus Eli live from New Orleans. One kick to claim ultimate family bragging rights. Who will rise to the moment? Pick your winner now in the FanDuel app in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. And if you back the right brother, you'll earn a share of $10 million in bonus bets. It's the FanDuel Kick of Destiny 3. Make your free pick, and don't forget to tune in to watch the showdown live during the Super Bowl 59 pregame show on Fox at 3 p.m. Eastern. May the best Manning win. Download the app right at FanDuel.com/GIGLIO right here. And, of course, FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 94 WIP.
21 plus and present in Pennsylvania. No purchase necessary. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Sports Radio 94 WIP has your all-access pass to the brightest spotlight in sports. WIP goes to the Big Easy. Listen as the WIP midday and afternoon shows broadcast live from New Orleans with exclusive championship coverage, access to players and coaches, and check-ins with insiders the week of the big game. Let's go! The road to the championship started in South Philly and ends in New Orleans. Go Birds! WIP goes to the Big Easy. Sports Radio 94 WIP.
Sponsored by Hatfield. Put pork on your fork.
Boy, I guess. This is Coach Serianni. Is Barbera the best? Boy, I guess. I'm Gary Barbera.
Hi, this is Chad Lewis.
Go Birds! Cheats! Super Cheats! Barbera!
It's a stud.
Tell him, Brendan Graham. Boy, I guess. Go Birds! That was still shot. Boy, I guess.
Hey, Birds fans, I have a game-changing gift idea. This Valentine's Day, spark someone's new wellness ritual with a gift from Hand & Stone. Save $30 on a 1-hour service gift card for a massage or facial, or get $60 off their massage and facial package. It's the perfect way to help someone recharge, relax, and feel their best. Go online or visit one of their 60 area spas to purchase your gift cards today for the perfect Valentine's Day gift. Restrictions apply. See spa for details.
Xfinity here. How can we help?
Hi. My daughter invited her entire class to her birthday party. Can my Wi-Fi handle it?
Oh, well, at Xfinity, our latest gateways have tri-band Wi-Fi technology, letting you connect hundreds of devices at once.
No way. So if all the kids are watching stuff on their phones, well, their parents are sharing videos online.
Yep, go ahead and watch videos. They can all do their thing and party their way. No problem.
Oh, we are going to need a bigger cake.
Now through March 21st, get fast, reliable 300 megabit Xfinity internet with unlimited data included and an unlimited mobile line for just $30 a month for 1 year. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless plan and auto pay with stored bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Xfinity Internet required. Reduce mobile speeds after use of monthly data included with your data option. Data thresholds and actual internet speeds vary.
Wing Pull, Wing Pull, Wing Pull! Club Risque brings you Wing Pull 25. Friday, February 7th. Doors open at 8 a.m. A wing eating contest, thousands in cash prizes, and hosted by megastar Alexis Texas. Friday, February 7th. Doors open at 8 a.m. Club Risque, Philly.
Here's what's happening at Borgata. Don't miss out on the action at Borgata's Poker Room, where great cards, lucky seats, and high hands bring excitement to every player. Open 7 days a week. Excitement is waiting. You're only miles away from your happy place. Experience award-winning restaurants, exciting bars and live music, big-name entertainment, and a spacious casino filled with your favorite slots and table games. The action at Borgata Hotel, Casino, and Spa doesn't stop. Start planning your getaway today.
Visit theborgata.com for more details. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news. A CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Right now at Wendy's, get 2 of these fave items for just $7. The spicier classic chicken sandwich, Dave's single, or 10-piece nugs. It's an incredible deal, but an insanely difficult choice. Do you go double chicky sando, both spicy and classic, 1 beefy and 1 chicky? Or maybe you go all in on one and go Nug Max. 2 faves for just $7? Gotta be Wendy's.
At participating Wendy's for a limited time only. Select a request 2 for $7 deal to redeem. Not valid in a combo or with saucy nugs. Single item at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
It's football season, and now you can get anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. Well, almost anything. You can't get a running back, but baby back ribs? Yes. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL.
Right now, get up to a $15 gift card after rebate when you purchase select Superstart batteries exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is Andrew Perloff with an Odyssey Sports Minute. The Dallas Mavericks have lost their 2 games since trading Luka Doncic. If the season ended today, they would miss the playoffs. It's a long season, but there's short-term pressure on this team. They traded for a 31-year-old Anthony Davis. They have to win right now. The deal is already being heavily criticized. If Dallas missed the postseason altogether, it could go down as an all-time disaster. I'm Andrew Perloff.
94 WIP HD1 Philadelphia. Live from the Tasty Cake Studio. Sports Radio 94 WIP. An Odyssey Sports Station. This is WIP Goes to the Big Easy. Sports Radio 94 WIP.
What would you do if you were to guarantee a Super Bowl?
I'll tell you this, if I could guarantee a Super Bowl, there's a whole hell of a lot of things that I would do, and there's a whole hell of a lot of people that I could do away with. I will say that I wouldn't trade in any amount of money. I'll gladly cut off a finger if that's what it takes.
A finger,
I mean,
all right.
Finger
all right.
or a toe.
So what are we thinking? A
pinky?
pinky?
The most non-essential finger you have is your ring finger.
And I could part ways with my ring finger.
Well, how about that? Joe Casper, Eagles safeties coach there, says he would cut off his ring finger for a ring, which actually is kind of ironic because it's his ring finger and he would get a ring if they do win the Super Bowl. Welcome back. It's the Midday Show. We're live today from Radio Row down in New Orleans. We're going to have Greg Olsen with us a little bit later in this hour. We're going to have Elliott Shore Parks as well. Your phone call's coming up. But we just heard Joe Casper there, Eagles safeties coach, saying he would give up a finger if it meant winning a Super Bowl. Hugh Douglas, if I could take you back to 2004, would you have given up a finger for a championship?
I gave up an arm, Joe. I gave up an arm. I remember when I came back to Philadelphia, and a friend of mine said, "Fool, you better go back to Philly. They're going to the Super Bowl. They just got T.O. Trot came back to town, and I was on my money grab, and I remember getting a phone call from a close friend of mine. He said, "Fool, you better take your ass back to Philly. They're going to the Super Bowl." And I remember in that first game back, I tore my rotator cuff and a piece of my bicep, and Doc told me, he said, "Hey, if you have this surgery, if we make it to the Super Bowl, you're not going to be in the game because the lengthy time that it takes to recover from that is lengthy." So I looked at it and I said, "You know what, man, this is probably my last go round. So I want to be on the field for that." Now, and another thing was that we were in a position where we had just locked the roster in, and there was nobody else out there that the Eagles could get. So they would have been a man down out there playing. So it was a sacrifice that I made, man. And I know I wasn't the player that I would have liked to be in that situation, but I wasn't going to miss it for the world. And as the months progressed and my arm got worse, I mean, it got to the point where it was like, hey, it was at the point of no return. Wasn't gonna play anymore, but I was a part of the journey, Didn't contribute the way that I wanted to, but to be a part of that journey, man, I wouldn't have changed that for the world.
Well, it had to change your chances of playing more than that, right? Like next year, because if you had surgery, you probably have a better chance of playing the next year.
If I would have had surgery, because I only had a 1-year deal with the Eagles, I probably could have caught on with another team.
Yeah.
I would have been in training camp, and who knows what would have happened, because I would have been in a better situation to actually be healthy. And who knows, maybe I could have got a couple more three games, 3 sacks in a game or whatever.
Does she do anything for us?
Yeah, maybe I could have did that, but I knew that by putting myself in that situation that I probably wasn't going to play anymore, but I was okay with that.
So how about that? Hugh Douglas gave up an arm for the Eagles to try to win a Super Bowl.
A whole arm.
So what's a finger for Joe Casper?
What's a finger? Man,
now, if you had to give up a finger, which one would you give up?
Probably one of the pinkies.
Pinky?
Pinky finger.
You can't get rid of the thumb. The thumb's crucial.
You need the thumb. That's the one. It's the thumb and one of these middle fingers right here,
crucial.
right, that you need.
You can't do anything without your thumb.
Yeah. So probably the pinky.
So Joe Casper said he would give up his ring finger, but don't you need the ring finger to put the ring on?
Like I think he's a little bit. That's a lot. But man, this game and being in this situation, I appreciate everybody's passion for this moment and all this stuff, but it's different when you actually play in it.
Well, no question.
I couldn't part with any fingers, I don't think.
You wouldn't part with a finger?
No.
How about a toe?
No.
Oh, come on.
I don't know. I have a few friends I don't really care for that I'd sacrifice for the Super Bowl. So.
So your own fingers and toes, no, but you'd give up another human being.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. I mean,
this is about me at the end of the day.
I know it is. If we polled the city of Philadelphia and asked people this in 2017, I think everyone would have given up something significant. I'm not sure if it's quite the same now. You know what I mean, Kyle? Like, not that people don't want them to win, but they finally got one. It's not quite the same fervor.
Yeah, it's this place was rabid and dying for a championship in general, let alone a Super Bowl championship. And not that people still don't care or don't care anymore, but you could definitely feel it a little bit less than you did at that time.
I think people are less likely to give up fingers, toes, or their people they know. Yeah, it's just a little bit different. 215-592-9494. For now, Brandon Graham has sacrificed here, trying to come back here off of the obviously what was thought to be a season-ending torn triceps. So there is an update here, Hugh. According to Jordan Schultz, Brandon Graham said he remains on track to play Sunday in what will be his final NFL game. Hugh, that was the thought, that this was going to be BG's last year anyway. But remember he got hurt, and then it was like, well, maybe he's going to come back next year because he doesn't want to go out that way. It feels like it's come back full circle. If BG's probably going to retire after this game. This is probably his last game.
Yeah, and he'll probably retire and walk in and start working with us at some point. But yeah, I mean, what a way to go out, man. I mean, if he gets a chance to play in this game and play well, you couldn't ask for a better ending to a storied career.
There's no question. He's had an amazing Eagles career, and hopefully he's got one more play left in him here. 215-592-9494. That is how you hop aboard here. Our Twitter question, sponsored by the PI Dental Center. Your smile is the first thing others see when they meet you. Learn about and schedule your evaluation at pidentalcenter.com. SportsRadio947.com. Does Jalen Hurts need to outplay Patrick Mahomes on Sunday in Super Bowl 59? It's funny, most of our callers today have said no. Twitter, though, says yes. 55% say yes, 45% say no. Let's grab Bill in Warrington. We got Greg Olsen coming up in about 15 minutes. What's up, Bill?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, Bill.
What's up, man?
It's been about a 2.5-hour wait, but great to talk to you guys again.
Well, Bill, we appreciate your patience, and we're happy to have you on the show.
You guys are either raking in dough or I'm one of the biggest dorks on the planet, but either way, it's all good.
Both,
yeah. We can.
Quick,
I like that. Go ahead, Bill.
I'll get right to the point because I know she doesn't like a long talker. But the defense, I think, is going to be a huge key. Like, my question for you is, how much better is Kansas City's offensive line than the Washington Redskins? Is it that much better?
I think they're pretty good offensive line.
But much better than the Redskins?
They're a better offensive line.
So what I would say to that, Bill, is their interior seems to be what everyone has told us.
They're a little nasty.
Yeah, so
they got nasty about them.
My reasoning is,
you asked the question.
Patrick Mahomes is not getting away from Nolan Smith like Jaden Daniels did. He's not as fast. So he's going to make him get a little crazy, and he's going to do his new looks for little passes to the middle, and Cooper DeJean's going to eat him up, I think. This is going to come down to defense because I think Nolan Smith's too fast for everyone, and he's going to put a lot of pressure, and then Brandon Graham's going to go out on his shield. He's going to be hyped. So Nolan Smith might be feeding him or vice versa, but Smith is fast, and Jaden Daniels – He did well, but, I mean, Patrick Mahomes is no Jaden Daniels when it comes to running and mobility.
He's not, so I think we'd agree with that. But Mahomes has a tendency, Bill, to break off big runs. Like, there's something about Mahomes, too. He's deceptively fast.
He is. Listen. Let's not go in there in this game thinking that he's not going to – he hasn't the ability to run.
He does.
He does. Man, he has the ability to run. Man.
The wild part is he saves his running for the
I
postseason.
agree.
He doesn't run much during the season. And you get to the January and February, and he's running all over the place.
No, I agree. I'm just saying he's so fast. And if Daniels couldn't really get away, I don't know if Mahomes is going on. I just think he's going to end up throwing passes to the middle, looking for Hopkins or somebody, and I think we're just going to have Cooper DeJean's going to be there picking him off. I just see it happening.
Well, that'd be huge. I mean, Bill, I want that to happen. And then I think Nolan Smith's an X factor. Is the way it's been framed to us, from the people we've talked to in Kansas City this week, and we have our neighbors next to us. We hopped on their show the other day. The way they frame it is the interior of the Chiefs O-line. That's their strength. Their tackles, that's where you might be able to get them. So maybe Nolan Smith has a huge game.
But if, I think the reason why Nolan was able to eat is because of the pressure Jalen Carter was allowed to bring from that middle position. It's going to be a little different. Nolan's probably going to have to work a little bit harder to get sacks, but I can see that being the case. That Big Red's not going to let Nolan Smith tee off on his quarterback now. When they get in pass situations, you best believe there's going to be a chipper over there. There's going to be somebody that's not going to give Nolan Smith that free release that he's wanted. And then on top of that, the quarterback is going to know that there's going to be some times where he's probably going to be running free. He's going to let the ball go.
And Mahomes does that. There was a lot of Chiefs games this year where their protection wasn't great, and he just got it out very, very quickly. He does that, and it's going to be a big part of the game Sunday. All right, 215-592-9494. We'll get back to everyone's phone calls. We'll also be joined here by Greg Olsen, Fox broadcaster. He called the last Eagles-Chiefs Super Bowl 2 years ago. We'll have him with us here. His thought on Jalen, on this game, on the Mahomes matchup, Fangio versus Reid. We will talk to Greg Olsen live here on Radio Row coming up next. 215-592-9494. It's the Midday Show. Sports Radio 94 WIP. Hey, Philly, a great lawn is like a great sports team. It takes expertise and a little extra care to really stand out. True Green is the local expert in Philly and the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour. They know a lot about keeping grass looking like a fairway. It's more affordable than you think. They'll even match any competitor's price. True Green backs it all up with a satisfaction guarantee. Not happy? They'll come back between visits to make it right. Head to truegreen.com today. Let the pros do the work while you sit back and enjoy the results.
Join Sports Radio 94 WIP Sunday starting at 3 for the official WIP Big Game Watch Party live. A live Live Casino Hotel, Philadelphia. Catch the WIP pregame show with Joe Giglio and Hugh Douglas, followed by the big game on the big screen, synced up with Merrill Reese and Mike Quick. Touchdown! Then stick around for the postgame show, the official WIP Big Game Watch Party live in Live Casino Hotel, Philadelphia. Sunday starting at 3 with Sports Radio 94 WIP. Sponsored by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
I'm Michael Jenkins here to help you beat the books with the BetMGM Network. Memphis is leading the way in the AAC and will put their 5-game winning streak on the line when they host Tulsa. The Tigers are 8-1 in conference play and one of the best defensive teams in college basketball. They're also the best three-point shooting team in the country, hitting 40% from long range. That combination should be enough to cover the double-digit spread. The play in college basketball tonight is the Memphis at home over Tulsa. I'm Michael Jenkins from the BetMGM Network. Bet smarter and beat the books, and download the BetMGM app today. Please gamble responsibly.
Whether you're ordering wings for the game, whipping up a 7-layer dip, or ordering pizza, there's something about football that makes you want to eat. And this football season, Uber Eats has the best deals on game day food. No matter what you're craving, from 2-for-1 pizza to buy one, get one wings, Uber Eats will be dropping new deals each week, all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Some things in life are meant for each other, like salt and pepper, bacon and mushrooms, or you and the all-new Wendy's Mushroom Bacon Cheeseburger. Now, you're probably thinking, wait a minute, does bacon go with mushrooms? And the answer is, they do now. So if you want crispy, crunchy, cheesy, juicy, shroomy, and garlic spready, then you and the Mushroom Bacon Cheeseburger are meant to be. For mushroomy, bacony goodness, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's.
Eagles fans, this is Barbara Schreiner of the Dudette Dental Group, the official dentist of the Philadelphia Eagles. We want to wish AJ Reid and the entire team good luck in New Orleans. Remember, get your smile parade day ready. Come visit us at PhiladelphiaEaglesDentist.com and smile like the birds.
The roar of the Birds fans at kickoff can be deafening, but since noise can affect your hearing, visit Hearing Life to get your free hearing test. It's quick, pain-free, and you'll get same-day results. Stay in the game with better hearing. Visit one of Hearing Life's 8 convenient locations. Call Hearing Life today for your free hearing test at 866-YES-HEAR. That's 866-937-4327. Receive a Philly sports gift for completing a free hearing test while supplies last.
Wing pull, wing pull, wing pull.
Club Risque brings you Wing Pull 25. Friday, February 7th. Doors open at 8 a.m. A wing eating contest, thousands in cash prizes, and hosted by megastar Alexis Texas. Friday, February 7th. Doors open at 8 a.m. Club Risque, Philly.
The FanDuel Kick of Destiny is back, and this time it's every Manning for himself. This Super Bowl, 2 legends will take the field in a sudden death field goal showdown. Peyton versus Eli, live from New Orleans. One kick to claim ultimate family bragging rights. Who will rise to the moment? Pick your winner now in the FanDuel app in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. And if you back the right brother, you'll earn a share of $10 million in bonus bets. It's the FanDuel Kick of Destiny 3. Make your free pick and don't forget to tune in to watch the showdown live during the Super Bowl 59 pregame show on Fox at 3 p.m. Eastern. May the best Manning win. Download the app or head to FanDuel.com/JohnR, JONR, and bet with FanDuel, official partner of Super Bowl 59. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 94 WIP.
21 plus in President, Pennsylvania. No purchase necessary. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here. Valentine's Day is almost upon us. And if you're still dragging your feet, here's my advice. Get to Family and Company Jewelers. You're guaranteed to walk out with a gift that will last forever. They've got a huge selection of 24-karat gold dip roses in pretty much any color you can imagine. Mention this ad or use code word HAMMER online at checkout and receive 10% off any gold dip rose. The perfect Valentine's Day gift is right on Route 70 in Marlton, New Jersey at Family and Company Jewelers.
At Tompkins Community Bank, business as usual becomes business accomplished with personal advice that helps you achieve big dreams. It's business accelerated with powerful banking solutions and fast, effective answers. And business amazing with cash management solutions that help you manage your growing success. Don't choose business as usual. Choose powerful and personal and the best banking relationship you'll ever have. Tompkins, your bank of choice. TompkinsBank.com. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Right now at Wendy's, get 2 of these fave items for just $7. The spicier classic chicken sandwich, Dave's single, or 10-piece nugs. It's an incredible deal, but an insanely difficult choice. Do you go double chicky sando, both spicy and classic, 1 beefy and 1 chicky? Or maybe you go all in on one and go Nug Max. 2 faves for just $7? Gotta be Wendy's.
At participating Wendy's for a limited time only. Select a request 2 for $7 deal to redeem. Not valid in a combo or with saucy nugs. Single item at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
You okay?
I can't sleep with this cough.
Sounds like you need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with NyQuil VapoCool. It's NyQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
So you ready to get some sleep? Thank you, NyQuil VapoCool.
NyQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing nighttime coughing, aching, fever, best sleep with a cold medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
NFL ref checklist. 1. Watch for face mask. 2. Mark the first down. 3. Don't let anyone touch Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Eagles, Chiefs, the Super Bowl. Pre-game starts Sunday at 4 on your exclusive home for the NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles.
Man, let's go.
Sports Radio 94 WIP.
Welcome back to Midday Show live in New Orleans. Drew Douglas, Joe Gillia. You guys with us. 215-592-9494. We're live on Radio Row, and joining us right now, Kyle, we're going to have Greg Olsen sit down with us.
Yeah, and in the big game, DraftKings will be offering all customers a touchdown bet match. Simply opt in, place any touchdown bet, receive a bonus bet equal to the original stake.
Greg, how you doing, man?
Doing great, guys. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, we're happy to have you here, Greg, because I like to have a guy like you on because you watch the game differently from your perspective than I do from a defensive perspective. So I'm going to ask you, in this game in particular with Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes, do you feel that since what you've seen from Jalen, that he has to play above and beyond himself in order to win this football game?
I don't think he needs to be anything different. I think the version that we saw last week or 2 weeks ago in the NFC Championship game, obviously when you run for 7 rushing touchdowns and Saquon, and I understand so much of the conversation gets dominated by the run game and Saquon, and rightfully so. But when you look at some of the big moment plays last week, the touchdown before the half, some of the gotta-have-it moments, they came through the air. And I think what everyone has to make sure they're clear on is just because Jalen Hurts is not a high-volume passer does not mean he's not an effective and efficient passer. The style in which Philadelphia plays is a style which is very unique to them because of the offensive line and the run game, and they play with a lead, and the defense is so good. So all of those factors, you're not going to throw the ball for 350 yards. You're not going to play in a lot of shootouts. Now, can they play in a shootout? We saw them play in a shootout 2 years ago in the Super Bowl, and obviously they came up short, but, I mean, it was right there, both teams over 30. So I think Jalen Hurts has shown from the pocket, on time, with the weapons that he has, he is an effective, efficient, highly efficient quarterback. On the run, the big plays, downfield, he's a better scramble runner than he is a scramble passer. But I think when he's in the pocket playing within rhythm, I think he doesn't need to do anything other than rely on those weapons, continue to distribute the ball, get the ball out of his hand on time.
What's your guess on how Steve Spagnuolo is going to defend him? Because 2 years ago, you mentioned that Super Bowl, you were on the call for that game. Yep. Jalen had a really good game. He had the 1 turnover, but most of the time he was moving the ball down.
He was incredible, yeah.
Now, last year, these two teams played on a Monday night game, and Jalen did not have a great game. Eagles won that game. Low-scoring game, kind of an ugly game, but Spagnuolo blitzed them a lot. They sacked him 5 times. Do you think they're coming after him, or do you think they're going to play more coverage and try to make Hurts hold the ball and see what he's seeing out there?
Yeah, so I think the last couple matchups, Spags has brought a lot of pressure. And I think if I'm in Spags' shoes and I'm part of this plan, I'm saying I want to blitz him up the middle. I want to get him off his spot. I want to make him run sideways. I don't want him stepping up in the pocket. He's able to become a scramble runner, and he picks up first downs, and he converts, third downs and whatnot with his legs. I want to get him running sideways. I want to get him running ideally to his left. The defense is right. But either way, get him running sideways. I'm playing hard inside leverage. They want to run those in-breaking routes, big body of A.J. Brown. They're going to mix in some man coverage. Obviously, A.J. Brown is a nightmare man coverage player on the offensive side of the ball. So those are the thoughts that I would have if I want to slow them down. And then the question becomes how much do you want to allocate towards Saquon Barkley? And everyone always talks about, okay, how many players do you want to allocate towards the run game? Do you play one safety, two safeties? My first question that we try to lay out on our broadcast and we try to paint to the viewer is my ability to turn the ball around to Saquon Barkley is completely contingent upon my defense's ability to stop Patrick Mahomes. If you stop Patrick Mahomes, you can turn around and hand the ball to Saquon Barkley as many times as you want. If all of a sudden Patrick Mahomes and this offense comes out hot and you fall behind, the value of that run game is completely diminished. So that's probably the element that people don't spend enough time. It's not just stopping Saquon Barkley. It's playing defense, which they've done a great job. Playing defense well enough the entire game against Mahomes to make the run game even worthwhile. That's the question.
I'm curious because you talk about we've been talking about Jalen Hurts all week long and everything, but I'm curious from your perspective and the way this defense has been playing. How do you think Patrick Mahomes is going to attack this Eagles defense?
I'll tell you, there's not a lot of places to attack. I mean,
because I was thinking not to
this
get
is
ahead
a
of
really
you,
good defense.
but I was thinking because it feels to me just on the surface that there might be something there when you talk about the young secondary players that you have.
Yeah,
maybe you could do some things to confuse them. Maybe you think that there's something there that he can exploit.
Yeah, I mean, I think all three levels of that Philadelphia defense under Vic Fangio, I think this is even a better unit than they were 2 years ago when they were incredible under Jonathan Gannon. Obviously, last year they took a big step back. I think that was really so much of it was about Jalen Hurts and the offense. The real issue was last year is they went from having a really good defense under Gannon. He gets the head job. They bring in Sean Desai. They take a significant step backwards. And now this year under Vic Fangio, they go from 31st in the league in most categories to arguably number 1 or 2.
Crazy.
So that's really the conversation around the defense, and they've done it with a lot of young players, right? And we all talk about Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis and Nolan Smith playing really well as he's gotten more and more time along the front. Zach Bond is a critical piece. He can play both levels, but it's the young secondary, right? It's Mitchell. It's Reid Blankenship. I know he's been around for a while, but again, just continuing to improve. And then obviously Cooper DeJean. So I'm with you. I do think if there is any vulnerability, I do think the pass rush, I do think the threat of the pass rush, teams get the ball out really quickly against Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
They almost tell themselves, all right, we're not going to sit back here and hold it real long because I know that rush is coming. I know we have some tough matchups. So I think if you can protect, I think you can challenge Philadelphia on the back end, medium to deep zones, man coverage downfield. So, but again, the question everyone has is how long are you willing to hold the ball to attack those areas of the defense and try to exploit them? That's the balance that teams kind of every week go into. I have all these great plays, but can you protect it?
Yeah, till you get to those great plays.
Yeah, that you have guys running all over the place if you want. Quarterback's not going to complete the ball in his back.
What makes the Chiefs so good in these one-score games? 17 straight it's ridiculous. I mean, you could do this next 20 years. You'll never see a team probably do this again. Is it something they're doing stylistically? Is Andy Holt something back? Why are they so good late in the game?
Well, it's a combination of a lot of things. It helps when you have Patrick Mahomes. And I don't care about yards, stats. He doesn't throw for the high volume. Maybe he did earlier in his career. The defense is a lot better. They run the ball a little bit more. Maybe some of his weapons since Tyreek have changed. The style in which they play, which was that deep strike offense, they've really reinvented themselves on offense these last couple of years, and it still doesn't seem to matter. In critical moments, right? So we saw it last week at the end of the game. They've got to close out a game and not give the ball back and settle for a field goal. They pick up 3rd and 4th and shorts. They get down there in goal-to-go situations when most teams might have to kick a field goal. Incredibly creative to come away with touchdowns, 2-point conversions. The gotta-have-it moments, obviously focus on offense, but then on defense, they get the stops. They get the takeaways. So if you have to win a game by just winning more plays than the other team, you're going to do that sometimes. On just a play-by-play basis, can I win more than you win? sometimes you're just going to be better than them. But in these really competitive games where they could go either way, it's not the team that wins the most individual plays. It's the team that wins the most impactful plays, right? Third downs, goal to go, critical moments of the game. That's been the magic formula. So if the best way for Philadelphia to win this is to get a lead early, keep that lead, and make them play from behind and chase me. Because if this is a back and forth game, this is not unique to Philadelphia. This is not unique to anyone. This is not a knock on anyone. Beating them in the gotta have it moments, the critical moments, especially if Mahomes has the ball in his hand, people haven't done that very often.
Almost never. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean they lost to what, they lose to the Bucks in the Super Bowl.
They lost to the Bengals.
No, they lost to the Bengals playoffs games, and then they lost to Brady.
Yeah, that's it. He has 3 playoff losses in 7 years in the NFL. Yeah, I got excited. So, Greg, let me ask you this. You mentioned get up on them, right? Nick Serianni, he was very aggressive 2 years ago. Remember you guys talking about that during the broadcast 2 years ago? And then as this season has unfolded, he was a little bit less aggressive, I think, because the passing game wasn't great, and he realized how great his defense is. Last week, 4th and 5 before halftime, he throws a bomb down the field, and they get up on the – do you think we need an aggressive Serianni in this game or a little bit less? Because we've seen all the different versions of Serianni.
I think he's got to be as aggressive as he's ever been. Again, aggressive is not reckless, right? So I think the conversation that gets lost in all of this 4th downs and the way teams are managing the game with being more willing to go for 4th downs and how yards to gain and field position is very different than it was 5 years ago.
Sure.
But it's really just taking the optimal. It's not being reckless. It's just being optimal, right? So they have to say, okay, going into this game, if I want to beat Patrick Mahomes, the best chance for me is I'm going in offensively saying I got to be north of 30 points. And then you start chipping that down. Every takeaway, every punt, every field goal you force. As the more stops the Philly defense gets, that number now that the offense has to go out and shoot for just continues to come down into the high 20s, so on and so forth. But every possession has to be maximized. Every scoring opportunity has to be maximized. And the advantage that they've had, and they've now refound it, the magic of 2 years ago was third down was second down. From the 40-yard line to the goal line, so for 60 yards, give or take, they start every possession 1st and 8.5. Every 3rd and 5 and every team in the league is a pass beyond the sticks, but not for Philadelphia. Because they know if they get tackled short or they hand the ball off, in this case now to Saquon, 2 years ago it was Miles Sanders. If I get stopped on 4th and 1 on 3rd and medium, we're just going to get the first down anyway. It's a free 1.5 to 2 yards. It's a free down. And defenses know that. So now on 3rd and 5, most teams, I'm calling pass. I'm bringing in nickel, 3rd down pressures, and I'm saying you're going to try to throw the ball beyond the sticks. But now as a defensive coordinator, I'm Spags, and I'm saying I'm playing this like 2nd and 5. Because you could hand it off, you could play action, you could throw short of the sticks. You have your entire play because you got to play it like 2nd down because you have an extra down. So, like, that's what made them so good 2 years ago. I think they have a better roster now, but they need to come with that mentality that they came out with where they scored 30-plus and they just couldn't get the stops at the end. But that was the formula. They got off to a fast start. They went for a couple 4th downs. They were super aggressive. Yep. They played with a lead. Obviously, that's the formula. If you can play that style with a very talented team, you got a shot.
I'm curious because you do the national show and you've been around a lot of people. What do you think of Coach Serianni as a coach?
I love him. I like his style. I know his style is not for everybody.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
I get it.
Because we call him Bubblehead. Some people call him Bubblehead, and they don't like the way that he does things.
What don't the people in Philadelphia like about him? Like, do they not like winning? Like, what do they not like?
Winning. So he did have the incident where he was yelling at the crowd. Like,
they don't like.
I get that. And again, fans are proud, and I get it. You shouldn't be yelling at the
part of it is he's been given such a good roster. It's tough to parse the credit in Philadelphia, right? Great roster. We do this with the quarterback too. How much of this is just they have the best roster versus how much? Because usually you win a lot the coach and quarterback and all the credit.
The question: What does he do? What is he? What does
he
bring
doesn't
to
call
the table?
The offense or defense. Yeah.
But I think we've seen some of the best coaches in the history of the NFL that don't necessarily call the plays.
For sure.
Right? I mean, they're involved. If you don't think Nick Sirianni's heavily involved with Kellen Moore in the game plan, I think you're wrong. I think he's super involved in the play calling. I think he does a really good job tying in Vic Fangio and Kellen Moore. When those two plans are put together on both sides of the ball, I don't think they're put together in a silo. They're not put together in a vacuum. They're directly correlated, and he's that conduit, right? He's the piece that blends the offense and the defense approach. to make sure they complement one another. You don't just make a defensive plan and say, we're going to stick to our world. You make an offense and we'll figure it out on Sunday. That's not how the good teams are doing it, right? It is completely mapped out. It's married together. And then I think where he does the best job is I think he puts a lot of time and attention into these gotta-have-it moments too. The situational football, understanding the identity of his team. It was really the avenue in which they made the Super Bowl 2 years ago. So I think we have to be very careful knocking a quarterback for playing with good players. And I think we have to be very careful knocking a coach for playing with good players. Like, you play with the hand that you're dealt. And this is now 2 Super Bowls in the last 3 years. I think in his first, 4 years of being a head coach, only one guy's won more games than him. I don't.
There's a lot.
Yeah,
the resume's good.
Yeah, it's a lot to.
Now,
digest.
could other guys have had the success? Sure, maybe. I'm not saying he's the only guy that could have had success, but would every guy have this success? No. Messaging, continuity, the way you deliver a vision, team meeting, the way you navigate bumps in the road. They could have fallen apart from last year. Last year, the end was a complete disaster.
Well, then they start 2-2 this year, and it felt like an extension.
And he turns it over. Yep. And so, I think we get so wrapped up in today's day and age, calling great plays and the sexy play caller and the rankings and the yards. And don't get me wrong, all that matters. But we don't give guys enough credit for the culture, the vision, the ability to, when things don't go well, can bring the group back together. And how often do we see great teams just completely spiral out of control? It happened to Philly at the end last year. They made some changes in the offseason. He's also replaced multiple coordinators.
He probably has to again now.
Right? So, I think we have to give them a little credit for that. How many people win the Super Bowl, lose both coordinators to be head coaches, bring in 2 new guys, they clearly aren't a good match for one way or another, replaces them, and now refines and gets back to the Super Bowl. So that's hard. We're going to see Dan Campbell go through it this year, who I think is a great coach, but he's going to go through what Serianni went through 2 years ago, where he's got to continue to rebuild his staff, and there's a beauty and a magic to that too. It's not just, hey, who's the best coach? It's who's the best fit. And so there's a lot more to being a head coach in the NFL than just calling the plays.
No doubt. Greg, we appreciate it. We know you're a busy guy. Thanks so much for being with us.
Appreciate you guys.
And enjoy Sunday.
Yeah,
there
appreciate it.
Greg Olsen with us there on Radio Row. 215-592-9494 is how you hop on. Elliot.